With the purchase limits currently, I think everybody understands that when you go and buy cannabis at a dispensary, you're limited to 1 ounce for your cart size. So that's like 1 ounce of flour altogether, or like 1 ounce or half ounce of flour, and like all these other products in the equivalency. Exactly. And so we're just trying to make sure that we're competitive compared to some of the other states that have opened up around us. I think I keep mentioning that, we were first to market for cannabis, but now every state around us has cannabis besides New Hampshire. And so with New York having a 3 ounce limit and Maine having a 2.5 ounce limit, there's a lot of folks who are going to these other states to buy cannabis because they can maybe just buy it all at one time instead of having to keep going back to the store multiple days per week. Right. And so we're losing a lot of our consumers in that way. And I don't think that the people from those states are coming into Massachusetts like they used to.
They used to, yeah.
Yeah, not like they used to. So I think this is just a common sense way for us to increase revenue streams for all our retailers, maybe tackle some of the oversupply problem that we have in terms of how much cannabis is being grown into the state. And it's just a great way for us to create some more business viability and stability.
Yeah, I think so it would raise it from 1 ounce to 2 ounce, because right now 1 ounce is the limit, basically per day in a store. Now we're talking adult use, now we're talking about medical.
Exactly.
In this case, medical has its own set of rules, which we won't get into. But I actually thought it was interesting that somebody had mentioned during testimony that you can possess 2 ounces.
You can, yes.
But you can only buy one.
Yes.
So they were like, what do you, shouldn't that match or something like that?
Exactly.
So I thought that was actually a really interesting way to look at it. But if you go from 1 ounce to 2 ounce, does the math still math for the edibles and concentrates, tinctures?
Yeah, so we tried to just use the same equivalency notes for like concentrates, tinctures, edibles. We're also trying to increase like how much THC you can have in a single dose of edibles as well. So just making sure
it's
in the law.
So would that go from 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams?
Yeah,
maybe?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. And then there's also another proposal by a senator who was just like, hey, let's try to match what New York is doing, and like had recommended 3. Our bill is asking for 2 at the very least, but I mean, if we get up to 3, I think that would be helpful for folks as well. So it doesn't make sense for us to keep going back to the rule if we want to keep trying to compete with other states. So I would say the highest that we can potentially get would be the best.